Hello, this is Jared playing Oxygen Not Included. This is Cycle 20, me playing the Rime Asteroid. Just put together this area here, incubator, so I can get the lullaby effect applied to eggs. And the process to be able to send eggs back to be reapplied. We've got a second stable set up over here. So far just one hatch, but we will have more in time. We have two new dupes since the last time I was here. We've got Strength, though. Obviously interested in Strength. And somewheres here is Nighto. Obviously a Night Owl attribute. We have removed the water. Just applying... Oops. Forgot. Yeah, Ego, wherever you are, I'll be visiting you. So Ego, actually, I'm going to move over here. We're going to do a special thing where I'm going to trap them in this room. We'll come back there in a second. But I've dumped all the water, put the temporary tiles here. So that has been put here. Anytime I have ice, I'm going to put it in here so it'll slowly melt. And a little bit of ice has been dug up over here, so that's going to be future water. Alright, so there's Ego applying the lullaby effect to my eggs, which is a good thing. They're going to hatch quicker because of that. That's going to populate these stables quicker and be set up for a food production source. Can remove that now. And now I've got all my eggs with the lullaby effect, so I can let them out. Another hatch has been born, so I can bring them over to the stable. I'll wait till they're an adult. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, I have built that pump, and now I've connected it with both power and pipe. So I'm piping water from down here instead of up here, which is what I was doing earlier. We're on cycle 25. Have 3 stables, starting to fill the second one. A lot of hatches been hatching in this area, which is really good. So as soon as they're adults, I'm bringing them over to my stables. Starting to explore a little bit. Some ice, we're taking that and storing it down at the bottom of the base, so they'll eventually melt away. Can get rid of that. I was just preventing material from falling down to the water, so the dupes don't have to get into the water to get stuff. We have a washroom. That is much nicer, so that's something new. Forget about that. Plus 2 to morale. Plus they can use the showers, and they don't have to clear out outhouses anymore. And finally, we have some insulation going around the base. I decided water is probably the most important thing to start with, but we'll continue going clockwise all the way around the base from there. And oh, one more thing, we have another dupe called Kuro. They're interested in doctoring, but also supplying and tidying. This is cycle 30. We have an artist on the base. Because of that, we have a great haul. Getting a +6 to morale when the dupes are eating in there. We also have a new hydrogen generator that's going in, and that is going to be fed by this system up here. This is a pump with a gas element sensor looking for hydrogen and a filter gate set to about 120 or so seconds. That'll eventually push hydrogen in. We have a new stable all up here. So this is going to be the 4th and final stable for the hatches. And the other bit is a new transformer that's been put in that splits the circuit into a heavy watt circuit in the power plant and the regular circuit that goes all around the base. We're on to cycle 35. So the stables are getting more full, not completely full yet. 5 there, 7, 7, and 7. We're adding more insulation around the sides. We have some new geysers that we've unveiled. Actually, really nice geysers that are close to the base. The saltwater geyser. We can actually use a little bit of this heat, because this is a very cold world in Rime. And having that as a heat source is not a bad thing. We've got some water down here, polluted water with food poisoning, unfortunately, but we can still do something with that. And then down here is a cool salt slush geyser. Lots of water potential around the base. dealing with the carbon dioxide that's piling up in the bottom of the base. Going to store that in a gas reservoir and doing a similar thing with hydrogen over here. Maintaining 10 dupes. Finding it a little difficult to keep mouths full, but we're doing decent. Some food is being generated with dirt and water, but this whole system of hatches is warming up. So we'll switch over to barbecue meat in a little bit, which I'll be very happy about. I'm sure the dupes will be happy about it too. Oh, and it's right. I've got a second circuit. So I've got a south circuit and a north circuit. Mostly because I didn't want to interrupt this guy when I'm using the incubator. It is cycle 40. So we have a carbon dioxide pump at the bottom. So that's making this area a little bit more breathable. That's useful as I go and search for muck roots. And I've had to create a second gas reservoir for that. Metal refinery going in. We'll see that in operation in the next episode. Had to do a little skill scrubbing just so I could prioritize some skills for critter ranching so that we get these guys happy and producing lots of eggs, because that's going to be our food source. Speaking of food, we now have this new kitchen area, and this is designated as making barbecue meat. And we have the first pieces of barbecue meat that is created. The fridge next to it doesn't need to be plugged in because we're only creating as much barbecue meat meat as we need in a given cycle. So expecting it's not going to go bad before it expires. Digging around the geyser, one thing I'm trying to do is put water on top of this because we've got food poisoning coming in. So cleaning the air, but I'm going to deal with that in the next episode. Let's just do a general check before I leave it today. Oxygen, we've got a little bit of polluted oxygen. I need to clean up a little bit of that. Hydrogen dots around, that's fine for the time being. But now we've pushed the hydrogen up. We push the carbon dioxide down. So things are looking pretty decent that way. Power, we still have our two smaller circuits. They're not connected. Temperature-wise, things are still very, very cold within the base. But metal refinery in the next episode is going to play a big part in that, as well as I think I'll be able to use this here as a heating source to warm up the base. Decoration-wise, not the best, but I haven't really concentrated on that. Disease, as I mentioned, food poisoning, so that's definitely need to be addressed. And let's just end off making sure I still have all the rooms that I expect to have. Nature Reserve, Great Hall, Power Plant. And let's check that we've got 96, 96, 96, and 96 tiles for each of the stables. Well, alright. Thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully I will see you in a future episode where I'll continue on. We've got to warm up this base, solve some of the problems that I mentioned, and explore a little bit. This is, dupes haven't really left far from their home world or center of the world. We'll do that in the next episode, I'm sure. Until then.